New room. Who this? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Toast Hammer. I've moved, got a new setup, and I've now joined the legions of mic holders and can call myself a real YouTuber. But yes, contrary to popular belief, I do in fact have ears. Speaking of ears, I may have said something that you may have heard through yours. Wow, that was a very convoluted, long walk to get there. You might be wondering to yourself, hey Toasty, these are just normal looking guys, what are they doing in GenESTEALER Cult's army? Well, stay tuned for an exploration as we dive into some of the lore of my GenESTEALER cult as we convert some more models. In the last video, that is not entirely true. See, a lot happened since I recorded my last video. AdMech got a new data slate, I moved, and GenESTEALER Cult's got a brand new model that didn't have any semblance of existing when I recorded. So instead of what we were going to do then, we're now going to build this new exciting model. Now, this new model is called the Benefictus, and it is currently only available through an expensive battle box that I really don't want or need at the moment. The only way to get there is by kitbashing. So let's start with a Magus, which I have from an extra combat patrol that I picked up. Very good box for GenESTEALER cults in general. And the Magus is, well, currently not too strong. Not something you want more than one of, or even kind of more than zero of at the moment. So I had this extra plastic laying around and I thought, hey, great opportunity for this cool new model that does actually look pretty good, with a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of elbow grease. Aside from the Magus, it's going to need a pretty honking big brain. Where am I going to find one of those? Left me with roughly half of the brain squid, and not the brain part, which is a little bit unfortunate. I wanted to see if I could integrate that in some way, and it was continued to be a part of my thoughts. Oh, that's right. Brain squid. So with our parts assembled, it was time to get cracking. The first step of which was to separate the brain from the brain squid and its brain housing. Just get the brain itself. After shaving that model down and clipping away all of the excess, we are left with a nice little double-lobed shape, which would be a solid basis for our extended brain. The Magus itself was also going to need some extensive remodeling. In this case, most of it is going to be in the realm of reposing. So I had to clip away some parts of, for example, the torso from the legs in order to reposition her into a more bent and crooked shape, as well as clipping away the arms so I could reposition those after I had the posture sorted out. I don't actually know if I needed to clip off the arms. You might be okay leaving them on if you wanted to try this kit bash yourself, but that's what I ended up doing, so I'm just telling you how I did it. After that, the model was assembled mostly according to instructions. We also took out the large sort of headpiece because we're going to change that into a support for the brain structure itself. In the GW sculpt of the Benefictus, they have some sort of like mechanical armature kind of going up to support all that gray matter, and we're going to use this appropriately sized headpiece and just kind of angle it in a way that is going to provide that support for our model. Basically just cutting it off and laying it at a 90-degree angle from where it was originally. With the torso and everything assembled, we needed a head for our leading lady. And for this one, I decided to use a Delac head to split it apart from the Magus that I had already made with the same head, while also maintaining a feminine look with a little bit of that augmetic nicety. With the head in place, I was able to attach the arms and also the brain but the staff of the Magus is not quite the same as the Benefictus. So I did a little bit of Frankensteining using the male Magus's staff plus parts of the normal neophyte staff, sort of the icon, as it were, plus the hand attached to the staff of the Magus model. Is this the most stable of connections? No. Should I have probably pinned it? Probably. Did I? Absolutely not. So we're just gonna slop on some plastic glue and pray to any gods that are listening that this thing doesn't fall apart into a million pieces. But we have a couple of tricks up our sleeve. At this point, the model was nearing its complete state in terms of the actual plastic construction. The pose of the torso was leaving kind of a nasty gap that I tried to fill with plastic putty, and it didn't really work. So we were going to need some green stuff there, and also in the head where there were some pretty nasty gaps where the brain was supposed to connect to the head. As you might know, I am not good with green stuff. I don't like using it, and I think it is just a huge mess. So swallowed my pride and got out a bunch of water and started wetting my work surface to roll up some green stuff, and again, prayed to any gods that were listening. We got some remedial sculpting done around the backside that turned out a little bit rough as it dried, but the brain stuff turned out kind of okay. Turns out there's a little bit of leeway you have when crafting organic shapes with green stuff, and something as lumpy as a brain. I tried to add a couple of grooves, especially down the middle. That's the really important one, to kind of meld it into the texture that was already there. And it doesn't look perfect, but I think it ended up looking okay. So after that, all that was left to do was to base it up and give it a prime. But this is where the secret sauce with the staff ended up coming into play, because the staff was at this point pointed towards the ground, so I attached it as a point of contact with the base, as well as her feet, to hopefully give it a little bit more structural integrity. Might be a little bit more difficult to paint in this position, but I'm gonna take the trade-off as a positive here. But with that being said and done, here is the completed Kitbash Benefit. Now I know you're waiting with bated breath to hear the lore of my Genestealer cult army, and that is coming, I assure you. It just won't be a part of Genestealer June this time around. But if you do want to hear it, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video, because it is definitely coming up. And if you did enjoy this, be sure to give the video a like. It helps out the channel a lot. And let me know how you think I did with my green stuff sculpting in the comments below. I can take it. And don't be afraid to say hi in the Toast Hammer Discord. And until next time, I'll see ya. Peace.